All right, Mr. Inman back here. We're going into the examples now on your notes. So, following these examples, I'll keep scrolling down while you guys follow along. So, we start out here. X is negative 10 gets us negative 0.05 for this one because of this equation. Y equals 0.5 over X. The next one, when we plug in our values, if Y is equal to negative 0.1, right, we will get back negative 5 for an X. All right, negative 2 as an X going in will get me negative 0.25. Then following along here, I get to the next point, negative 1 over 4, that will get me negative 2. All right, negative 5 will be a negative 1 over 10. Then for 2, that will get me 1/4. Okay, 1/2 will get me 1. And the last one is just to pick any, really. So I'm going to put it in X equals 10. I'm going to get back 0.05. All right, just a different number than what we've got so far on our chart. All right, now if I graph them, there's a couple points that I can really pick out here. Let's do positive 2, so that's 0.25. Then I'm going to have, let's say we went to the 1. So let's go to 1 and 1/2. So 1, 1/2. Put that point in here. Somewhere in between there, let's do and then let's go to positive 2. So positive 2, 1/4. So positive 2, 1/4. Now you can kind of see that this is going to get us a curve. From using your graphing calculator, you'll notice that it becomes a nice curve like so. But then we've got another side to the equation as well. That is going to be the other branch. So like the vocab that we learned the other day, this is going to be, the second branch is going to be over here. All right? For my other branch, let's plug in let's take a couple of these values. So negative 1 will be negative 1/2. Plot it. Negative 2, negative 0.25. Put that in. Negative 1/2 will be at positive or negative 1. All right. So we start to see the same curve
please call the main office. Mrs. Susko, please call the main office.
All right. Negative 1/4 will get you negative 2. So here's your curve again. All right. Seeing these two curves, what two lines does it not cross? Because that's what we're going to end up having to figure out. Because there are two very important parts here to this. This line and this line. They just so happen to be our axes. So the vertical one is going to be our vertical asymptote. All right, which is going to be at x equals 0. Okay, or it's the x-axis. The other one is our horizontal asymptote. That is y equals 0, or the y-axis. Okay, so those are our two asymptotes. They're always with dotted lines to show that they cannot, that the graph will not cross them. All right, next examples. On the videos, if you ever get stuck, you can always go back and see something a second time or a third time. So example number 2, they give us this equation, F equals 343 over W. 343 is the velocity, okay? They're asking for the frequency, okay? Wait. Yeah. Graph the functions, okay, yeah. So they're asking for the frequency when the sound wave has a 440 hertz wave. So with this, we're going to, one way of doing it is by graphing it. So you plug in these two equations where the function is equal to 440, so you end up with a nice horizontal line up here. And you also plug in one where it's 343 over W. So you get the curve and you get a flat line, your point of intersection, which is way up here. That will give you your answer, okay? So it's y is 440, x is 0.77954545. So it's roughly 0.78 meters, okay? The other way of doing this, though, is to plug it in. So if you say F is equal to 343 over W, the W is 440. 343 over 440. This is about equal to 0.78 as well. So it's the same answer. All right? All right, we're going to flip to example number 3. So we've got 3 and 4 to do, and then we're done. So example number 3 is graphing a translation. So the translation, don't forget, is y equals k over x minus b plus c. Okay, so this goes for the whole thing. So the first part that we have to do is draw our asymptotes, because we know pretty much what the graph is going to look like. It's going to be one curve in the upper right, one curve in the lower left. We just have to translate it, move it around a little bit. So the first part here is find our asymptotes. When we're doing that, we want to look at our b value and our c value. So in this example here, what is b equal to? Well, it's equal to -2. C is equal to +2. The -2 is because this is supposed to be a minus sign according to our original equation for translations. Okay? So this is a positive, so that means that this must be -2. C is +2 because we're going up 2. Okay? Because of that, that means that our vertical asymptote is we're moving left 2. So our vertical asymptote is at x equals -2. And then our horizontal asymptote is going to be up 2. So we're going to move up 2, so it's going to be y equals 2 rather than y equals 0. Now, translating the original y equals 1 over x, we're going to look at it, we're going to say that the original includes points like 1, 1. Alright, so this is in the original. 1, 1, and that's just by plugging in the 1 for x, you get back y equals 1. You plug in the second one, let's try -1, we'll get back -1. Okay, so there's 2 different examples. These we're going to translate 2 left and 2 up. So we go over here to our original graph at 1, 1 and -1, -1. Move them 2 to the left, 2 up, so 2 to the left, 2 up. Our new point is going to be there. 2 to the left, 2 up. There's our new point here. Alright, so I can erase the old ones. Now I want to put in my asymptotes. So let's draw our asymptotes here. So vertical asymptote at x equals -2. Horizontal at +2. Okay, there's my dotted lines. They look good. Now I'm going to draw in my branches for my graph. So the translated points, sorry, I know I'm jumping around here a little bit. The translated points are at -1, +3, and at -3, +1. Okay, so now let's graph this real quick here. Alright, before my battery runs out, 'cause it's about to. Let's do the last one here. If we're moving as asymptotes at x equals 8 and y equals -4 for the number 4 here, we're going to say that it's y equals, and it's -7 over x minus b plus c. Plugging in those values then, b represents my asymptote where it is. Alright, from our previous example, you can see how that connects. So y is equal to -7 over x minus 8. And then the c is going to be just like the c is up there. It's going to be -4. This is our final answer for that one. Okay, so this is your vertical asymptote. This is your horizontal asymptote. All right. Any questions? Just remember to bring them to class. We will be going through some examples in class today and tomorrow. So, thank you.